President Trump says that Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of a ceasefire deal, and federal authorities have charged a man with starting the deadly Palisades fire in the Los Angeles area last January. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. President Trump says Israel and Hamas have agreed on the first phase of his peace proposal. Trump is likely to travel to the region soon, as NPR's Michelle Kellerman reports.
In a message on Truth Social, President Trump announced a deal on the first phase of his peace plan. That means all of the remaining hostages will be released very soon, he writes, and Israel will withdraw troops to an agreed-upon line. Mediators say aid will be allowed to enter Gaza. Trump told reporters earlier in the day that he could travel to the region this weekend.
I'll be going to Egypt, most likely. That's where everybody is gathered right now, and we appreciate that very much. But I'll be making the rounds, as the expression goes. I probably will.
He didn't rule out visiting Gaza when he was asked. A group representing families of the remaining hostages thanked Trump for what they're calling this historic breakthrough. Michelle Kellerman, NPR News, Washington.
This is the 9th day of the federal government shutdown. It can't end until Republicans and Democrats come to terms on a spending bill. No agreement is in sight. The Senate is expected to take another vote on a spending measure today. Meanwhile, federal workers are not going to be paid. That includes members of the military. They will miss their first paycheck on October 15th. A federal judge hears arguments today on the legality of President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops in Illinois. Trump says he's doing this to stop crime in Chicago. The National Guard troops are outside the city because Illinois officials don't want them there. But federal immigration agents have been sent to a Chicago suburb. From member station WBEZ, Mike Puente has more.
There have been vastly conflicting stories on what's been happening with arrests by ICE, with the Trump administration calling protesters rioters and protesters objecting to arrests. Some of the protests at the ICE facilities in another suburban area have flared into violence, with protesters videotaping incidents, which shows ICE escalating the violence as they're shooting rubber bullets into the crowds and spraying them with pepper spray.
Mike Puente reporting. Federal authorities have charged a man from Florida with starting the deadly Palisades fires in the Los Angeles area last January. These killed 12 people. NPR's Kirk Siegler has more.
Prosecutors arrested Jonathan Rinderknecht in Florida. He's a former resident of LA's Pacific Palisades neighborhood. Kenny Cooper is the ATF special agent in charge.
The fire was a holdover fire, meaning it was deeply seated in dense vegetation and roots and continued to burn undetected until catastrophic weather ensued, resulting in the Palisades fire.
Prosecutors showed AI-generated images from the suspect's phone that appear to show a dystopian city in the forest on fire. Kirk Siegler, NPR News.
Former FBI Director James Comey will go on trial January 5th. He's pleaded not guilty to federal criminal charges of lying to Congress. President Trump had demanded that the Justice Department go after Comey, and days later, the agency complied. Authorities have recaptured the last missing inmate from a group that broke out of a Louisiana jail last spring. Convicted murderer Derek Groves was found hiding in an Atlanta home yesterday. He and 9 other inmates staged a brazen jailbreak in May. They dug out through a hole behind a toilet. They also left behind a message taunting New Orleans jail officials. The Senate has rejected a measure intended to block President Trump's deadly attacks against alleged drug smugglers in the Caribbean Sea. The vote was mostly along party lines. Trump's initial strikes have been on vessels from Venezuela. Now, the president of Colombia says the latest strike was on people from his country. John Otis reports on the widening U.S. attacks.
U.S. officials say American airstrikes in the Caribbean have destroyed 4 drug smuggling boats from Venezuela and killed 21 people. The legality of these military attacks remains unclear, and now Colombia has been drawn into the conflict. Colombian President Gustavo Petro said on social media that the U.S. destroyed a boat carrying Colombian citizens and that a, quote, new war scenario had opened up in the Caribbean. The White House called Petro's statement baseless and reprehensible. For NPR News, I'm John Otis.
This year's Nobel Literature Prize has been awarded to Hungarian novelist László Krasznahorkai. His first novel, Satan Tango, published in 1985, is considered his breakthrough work. It's about a group of poor residents in rural Hungary living on an abandoned collective farm. Steve Sandberg is with the Nobel Prize Committee.
It is László Krasznahorkai's artistic gaze, which is entirely free of illusion, and which sees through the fragility of the social order, combined with his unwavering belief in the power of art, that has motivated the Academy to award him this prize.
The Nobel Peace Prize will be awarded tomorrow. This is NPR.